They warned the ear, he refused to listen. When they cut the head off, the ear followed it. This is the story arrogant girl who fights the spirit of the land. In the village of Mmuo, there lived a beautiful girl named Ada. She had bright eyes, smooth skin, and a sharp tongue. Ada was known for one thing. She feared nothing and nobody. When other girls screamed at lizards, Ada laughed. When boys tried to scare her with ghost stories, she told them to keep quiet. Her mother often warned her, Ada, pride will put you in trouble one day. But Ada would roll her eyes and say, Mama, nothing in this village can scare me. Not man, not spirit. Her friends admired her boldness, but deep inside, some of them were afraid for her. In Mmuo, there was a fearsome masquerade called Oke Mmuo, the spirit of the land. Every year, during the Eke festival, Oke Mmuo came out to cleanse the village. Women were not allowed to look at it closely. Any woman who disrespected the masquerade was said to be cursed. When the drums of Oke Mmuo sounded, women ran into their huts, closed their doors, and covered their heads. Even strong men stepped aside with respect. Only the elders and the chief priests could speak when Oke Mmuo passed. The whole village knew this was not an ordinary masquerade. It carried the anger of the ancestors. One hot afternoon, Ada sat with her friends under the big udala tree. The girls whispered about the coming Eke festival. They spoke in low voices about Oke Mmuo, their faces full of fear. I heard it can see into your soul, one girl said. I heard it can make you mad, another added. Ada burst into laughter. You girls are cowards, she said loudly. That masquerade is just a man in costume. I am not afraid of it. If it comes near me, I will not run. I will stand and face it. Her friends gasped and begged her, Ada, don't say that. The spirit's here. But Ada only smiled proudly. Let them hear, she said. That evening, Ada's father, Papa Ada, heard what his daughter had said. He called her into the hut, his face serious. My daughter, this village is older than you. The laws here were made before you were born. No woman stands before Oke Mmuo. No woman challenges the spirit of the land. Ada folded her arms. Papa, are you also afraid? She asked. It is only a masquerade. Papa Ada shook his head slowly. You see only cloth and cane, but inside that cloth are spirits you cannot see. Respect what you don't understand, Ada. She turned away, her heart still full of pride. His words entered her ears, but did not enter her heart. Soon, the Eke market day arrived. The air was full of drums and songs. Women hurried to finish buying and selling before the masquerade came out. Children were rushed home. Doors were closed. Fires were put out. The whole village seemed to be holding its breath. Ada's friends ran to her. Come, let us go inside, they begged. Oke Mmuo will soon pass. But Ada stood in the middle of the path, her hands on her waist. I told you I will not run. I want to see this masquerade you all fear so much. Her friends cried and pulled her arm, but she refused to move. Far away, the heavy drum of Oke Mmuo started. Boom, boom, boom. The sound rolled through the village like thunder. Men stepped aside, elders bowed their heads, women locked their doors and knelt in prayer. Only Ada remained standing in the open path. The drum grew louder, rattles and bells joined. A strange wind began to blow. Even the birds in the trees flew away. Ada's heart beat faster, but she told herself she would not show fear. If I run now, they will laugh at me, she thought. So she lifted her chin and waited for the masquerade. Then, Oke Mmuo turned the corner. Its tall, frightening body was covered in red, black, and white cloth. Cowries and buns hung from its waist. Its mask had long horns and painted eyes that seemed to look everywhere at once. It carried a long cane that whistled in the air. As Oke Mmuo moved, the drum followed its steps. The air felt heavy, like rain was coming. It passed house after house, while people hid inside, shaking. When it reached the center of the village, the masquerade suddenly stopped. Slowly, its head turned toward Ada, who stood alone in the path.
Oke Mmuo raised its cane and pointed it at Ada. The drummer slowed, watching. The elders looked around in fear. "Who is that child?" one whispered. No woman had ever stood before the masquerade like this. It was a taboo. Ada swallowed, but she did not move. "So, this is the masquerade," she shouted. "You cannot scare me. I will not run. I am not a coward." Gasps rose from the houses where people hid. Some shut their eyes, not wanting to see what would happen next. Even the wind seemed to stop. Without a word, Oke Mmuo moved closer. The air grew colder around Ada. For a moment, she felt something strange, as if many unseen eyes were watching her. But her pride stood taller than her fear. She did not kneel. She did not bow. Suddenly, the cane came down. Whoosh! It landed on her back with a sharp pain that cut through her skin. Ada screamed. The sound shook the quiet village. The second stroke came, then the third. Each one burned like fire. Tears filled her eyes. Her legs shook. Still, she refused to run. Pain and anger boiled inside Ada. "How dare you flog me?" she shouted. In a wild burst of rage, she grabbed the cane as it swung again. The drummers froze. The elders cried out. No one had ever touched the cane of Oke Mmuo. Before anyone could stop her, Ada rushed at the masquerade. She pushed it, pulled its cloth, and punched its chest. They struggled and fell to the ground. The great Oke Mmuo, feared by all women, lay under an ordinary village girl. The drums fell silent. Even the chief priest dropped his staff in shock. Ada kept hitting and kicking the masquerade until it stopped moving. The villagers peeped from their windows, their mouths wide open. "She has beaten Oke Mmuo," someone whispered. "This is an abomination," another said with shaking lips. Slowly, Ada stood up, breathing hard. "You see?" she shouted proudly. "He is nothing. I told you I fear no masquerade." She threw the cane on the ground and walked away, her back still burning, but her pride burning hotter. Behind her, the elders gathered around the falling masquerade, their faces full of terror. Something had been broken that day, something deep and spiritual. That night, Ada could not sleep. Her back hurt from the beating, but that was not the main problem. Whenever she closed her eyes, she saw the painted face of Oke Mmuo. Its eyes seemed more alive now, more angry. She shook her head and tried to forget. Outside, the wind made strange signs. The shadows in her hut looked longer and darker than before. Once, she thought she heard the drum of Oke Mmuo beating softly far away. Boom, boom. She woke up sweating. "It's just in my mind," she told herself. "I am stronger than fear." But her heart did not believe her. The next evening, as Ada sat alone, she felt a cold touch on her shoulder. She turned quickly, but no one was there. Then she heard it, the soft rattle of shells, the quiet jingle of bells. Her body froze. She was inside the hut, yet she could hear the masquerade. Suddenly, she saw it. Right there in her small room, Oke Mmuo stood, taller than before, its mask glowing in the dark. Behind it, other shadowy masquerades appeared, circling her. Each one lifted a cane. Ada screamed, but no sound came out. The first stroke landed on her, but this time, nobody outside could hear or see. Night after night, the same thing happened. The spirit of masquerade came to Ada. They flogged her without mercy. By morning, her skin was covered with fresh marks, yet nobody had touched her. Her mother cried when she saw the wounds. "Who is doing this to you?" she asked. I don't know," Ada whispered, shaking. She tried to explain about the spirits, but her words sounded crazy even to her own ears. Her friends were afraid to visit her. Children ran when they saw her. In the village, people whispered, "The spirits are angry. She has called a curse on herself." Ada's father could not watch his daughter suffer anymore. He carried her to different healers. Some gave her herbs to drink, others washed her with special leaves. Nothing worked. Every night, the invisible canes returned. One morning, after seeing new red lines on her skin, Papa Ada went to the elders. "Please," he begged, "my daughter is dying. Help us."
The elders looked at one another with sad eyes. "We warned her," one said. "But she did what no woman should do," said another. At last, they agreed on one thing. Only the chief priest might know what to do.
They took Ada to the shrine at the edge of the village. It was a quiet place with tall trees and ancient stones. The chief priest, a thin old man with white chalk on his face, came out slowly, leaning on his staff. His eyes were sharp, like someone who could see more than ordinary people. He looked at Ada, then at the marks on her body. He shook his head and sighed deeply. "The spirit of the land is angry," he said. "This child has broken a strong law." She did not only see what women must not see, she lifted her hand against the spirit and brought it down. The land itself cries for respect. Ada tried to speak. "I didn't mean..." The chief priest raised his hand. "Silence," he said. "When pride speaks, wisdom keeps quiet. You shamed Oke Mmuo in front of the whole village. You made many doubt what they must fear. This is not just about you. It is about the order of our fathers." Ada's parents knelt, begging. "Please, find mercy for her," her mother cried. "She is only a child." The chief priest closed his eyes for a moment, listening to the spirits. Then he opened them and said, "There is only one way left, but it is not easy." The spirit asks for a sign of deep shame and true repentance, the chief priest said slowly. "On the next 2 Eke market days, this girl must walk through the whole village naked, with her neck bowed in front of everyone. Only then will the spirits forgive her and stop the flogging." Ada's eyes widened in shock. "What?" she shouted. "You want me to walk naked in front of all these people? Never!" Her mother covered her face, weeping harder. Papa Ada tried to calm her daughter. "Ada, listen, your life is more important than your pride." But Ada's anger was rising again. Ada stood up, shaking with rage. "You are wicked," she shouted at the chief priest. "How can you say such a thing? You want to disgrace me. I will never do it." The old man's face grew dark. "Child, you are not fighting me," he said quietly. "You are fighting the same spirits that flog you every night." "Let them flog. I will not walk naked." She moved toward the chief priest as if to push him. Papa Ada rushed forward and held her. "Stop this madness," he cried. But she pushed her father away so hard that he fell to the ground. Everyone gasped. The shrine became very silent. Somewhere in the trees, a bird cried once and flew off. They took Ada home, but her heart was harder than before. "I would rather die than be shamed," she said, lying on her mat. "Let the spirits do their worst." Her mother begged her, "My child, shame is better than the grave. After 2 days, it will be over." Ada turned her face to the wall. "I said no," she whispered. That night, the wind around the village changed. It became colder, sharper, like a warning. Dogs howled for no reason. The moon hid behind thick clouds. The elders sat outside their huts, looking at the sky with worried faces. They said something is coming. The land is not at peace. When darkness covered the village, Ada felt a strange heaviness in her chest. She tried to sit up but felt too weak. Suddenly, the sound of drums filled her room, louder than ever before. Boom, boom, boom. The walls of the hut shook. Her parents woke up in fear. Ada looked up and saw them again, the masquerades. Not one, not two, but many. Oke Mmuo stood in front, taller and more terrible than before. Behind it, other spirits carried glowing canes. Their eyes shone like red fire in the dark. This time, they did not speak. They simply raised their hands. Ada jumped from her mat and tried to run. She ran to one corner of the hut, then another, but the canes followed her. Every time they landed on her body, she screamed and cried, "I am sorry, I am sorry." Her parents grabbed her, but to them, it looked like she was fighting with empty air. "Who are you talking to?" her mother cried. "Stop, my child." But Ada was not listening. She ran out of the hut into the night, still trying to escape invisible strokes. Neighbors came out, watching her with wide, frightened eyes. No one could see the spirits, but everyone could hear her screams. Ada ran through the paths, falling and getting up, shouting, "Please forgive me, I will do it, I will do it." But the strokes did not stop. People stood far away, afraid to go near her. "The spirits are dealing with her," someone said in a shaking voice. "We cannot help her now." The chief priest came, leaning on his staff. He watched for a while, then shook his head sadly. "The spirit gave her a choice," he said. "She chose her pride." He lifted his staff and prayed for mercy, but even his old eyes looked unsure. This was bigger than any man. As the first light of morning touched the sky, the drums stopped. The rattles went silent. The invisible canes fell away. Ada dropped to the ground, too tired to move. Her clothes were torn, her body shaking, her breathing weak. The whole village watched her in silence. Papa Ada rushed to her and lifted her gently. Her eyes were half closed. "Papa," she whispered, "they are gone, but something is pulling me inside." He carried her home with the help of neighbors. The fear that filled the village was heavy. Parents held their children close, warning them in low voices, "Never fight the spirits, never be like Ada." Days passed and Ada's body began to change. She grew thinner and thinner. Her eyes sank deep into her face. Sometimes she spoke clearly and begged for water. Other times she shouted at things no one could see. "Tell them to leave me alone. I am sorry. I am sorry." Her mother sat by her bed, tears always in her eyes. "If only you had listened," she whispered again and again. Ada tried to smile at her, but it was weak. "Mama," she said one day, "if I could go back to that first day, I would run. I would kneel. I would beg. Pride is bitter."
One evening, as the sun turned red and slowly went down behind the trees, Ada called her parents close. Her voice was soft like a whisper. "Papa, Mama," she said, "I understand now. I thought I was strong, but I was foolish. I disrespected the land and the spirits. I disrespected you." Her father's tears dropped on her hand. "We forgive you, my child," he said, "but I don't know if the spirits will." Ada looked toward the door of the hut as if she saw someone standing there. "They are waiting," she murmured. "They are calling me." A small tear rolled down her cheek. That night, the village was quiet. No drums, no laughter, no songs. Inside Ada's hut, the air felt heavy, like the moments before rain. Her breathing grew slower, weaker. Her mother held one of her hands. Her father held the other. "Stay with us," her mother whispered, but her voice was breaking. Ada took one last deep breath and opened her eyes wide, as if she finally saw something clearly. "Tell the girls," she whispered. "Tell them never to be proud, never to fight what they don't understand." Then her hand fell still. The room became very silent. Outside, a cold wind passed through the village. The next day, the whole village gathered to bury Ada. Some people cried, some shook their heads sadly, others whispered, "She was warned." The chief priest stood by the grave, his staff in his hand. "Today we bury a child," he said, "but we must not bury her lesson." They laid Ada in the ground with care, covering her with earth little by little. Her mother wailed loudly. Papa Ada stood like a broken tree. "May the spirits have mercy on her soul," the chief priest prayed, "and may her story stand as a warning to every child yet unborn." After Ada's death, the story spread to every corner of Umueze and even to other villages. Mothers told their children, "Remember Ada, the girl who fought the masquerade." Fathers said, "Respect our ways. Do not let pride lead you into trouble." Even the bravest boys walked quietly when they heard the drums of Oke Mmuo. On market days, when women heard the masquerade coming, they hurried inside without argument. No one ever tried to stand in its path again. The empty spot where Ada once joked and laughed with her friends now felt like a small, quiet warning. Her life had become a story, and her story had become a law. Many years later, elders still sat under the big tree and told the story of Ada to the young ones. They spoke slowly, letting every word sink in. The world you see, they said, is not the only world that exists. There are powers older than you, older than your father's father. Respect them. They ended the tale with the same words every time. Do not let pride blind your eyes. Courage is good, but pride is poison. Never mock what others fear. Never fight the spirit of the land. And as the children listened, their hearts beat faster. Some whispered, "Oh my God, what a story!" And none of them ever forgot Ada of Umueze, the girl who feared nothing and lost everything. Thank you for watching. Please drop your opinion on the comment section. Let me know what you think about this story. And please subscribe, like, and share. See you again. Bye.